All right, computer science, here we go. Today, I'm getting a knee checked out. I had to be away, so you're going to have two assignments to work on today. And in this video, I'm going to show you the first one. Let's see, on the calendar, this is Wednesday, so we're looking at lesson number 2 and 3 in Adobe XD. If you go to Schoology, you'll see a folder. If you go to the UIXD section, you'll see a folder here for lesson number 2, and it's about creating icons. There is a link for turning in your work when you're done, and there is a PDF that will describe this. I'm going to show you some things as well. Here's the PDF. You can just set up a custom size artboard for this, and I'll show you in a minute. And save often. Remember, the program gets a little glitchy every once in a while, so save your work often as you're working. We're going to use a combination of the shape tools, pen tools. There's shape options, and you can make them in whatever color you want. And I've got a list of them here. I want you to make a home icon, an arrow, a profile icon, a calendar icon, a mail icon, a quick photo icon, video, and group. Now, those are all the required ones, and they don't have to be fancy. But the bonus down here, the very last one, is a like icon. That could be like a heart or a thumbs up. And if you can make one of those, those are worth bonus points. That one's worth bonus points. Got some notes here on the PDF that could help you along. When you get done, you're going to save this project and submit it on Schoology, right? And I'll hop back over here to Schoology. That's the icon or the link right there for turning it in. All right, I've already got XD running. I'm going to hop into XD. I just started it, so here's what you're going to do. And I'm going to show you some things I think will help. I'm just going to click on custom size right here. That's good enough. I'm ready to roll. We don't need a certain kind of like iPhone 10 template or anything like that. We're just going to use this canvas, and we're going to make these icons. The first one is a home icon, and I'll show you an idea here. I'll show you some tricks as I go. I'm just going to take the box tool and draw a box. Now, the pen tool, there's a pen tool over here, and you can do things like this. You can just go click, 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 and then go back to where you started and click, and so that made a triangle. Now, don't overcomplicate today. It could be enough just to do that. Just get them together. Now, you could, I will show you, actually, you know what, that's actually pretty good. I'm not too upset with that. You could add other little details to it, get them sitting together the way you want. And, you know, if you want to put a door on there, I could make another rectangle for a door, but I'm not asking you to be super fancy. Now, I think what I'll do is select all of that, and on the border, I'm going to make it black, and I can change the border thickness over here next to border. I can make it like make it 5 pixels thick, and maybe I could align those. There's buttons up here for aligning things in the center, and maybe that is aligned a little bit better. All right, cool. Now, like I said, I could add a few other details. I could put a little chimney or a door or something on there, but this would work, right? And I'm going to do this. I'm going to select it and do a right click and group it. Control G is grouping, or you can do right click and group. And look, that one's done. The home icon is done. Yippee. Now I got to make like an arrow icon. If you look at the handout, it's got them all listed there. I got to make an arrow icon. Well, again, you could do that. There's a way you could do it with kind of doing something similar to what I just did there. But I'm going to take the pen tool and watch. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to click, click, click. And if you find another way to do it that's different than how I do it, then that's fine. It's not a problem, right? Hey, look, it's an arrow. And I could go get my arrow tool here. And you can kind of reposition those little points that you make if you need to a little bit. And I could select that and say, well, gosh, you know what? I want a black border on that. Maybe I want the border size to be like 5, and maybe I want to fill it with red or something. You can do that's whatever you want. All right, look, that's an arrow. Now I want to show you a trick here that will really help you on some of these. This next one is a profile icon. So I'm going to draw a little circle like that, and then I'm going to draw kind of a bigger circle like this. Now here's this trick. I'm going to take the box tool and lay a box over the bottom part of that circle like this, and I'm going to get those both selected. I'll take the arrow tool and select both of those. Now when you do that, over here on the top right hand side, there's some buttons that say like add and subtract. All right, well, what I want to do in this case is I want to do a subtract, because what it's going to do is take that rectangle and kind of punch through the circle. So I'm going to click the subtract button, and you see what that left me? The rectangle kind of cut through the bottom part of the circle and left me a shape like this. And that's what I wanted. Now I can do this, and that's not a bad profile icon. And by the way, if you need ideas, you could go do a Google image search. Like here I did a Google image search for profile icon, and see, I was making something kind of like this right here. All right, so yay, I got it, right? So I'll just, again, I could fill that with a color if I wanted to. I could say, all right, I want to fill it, and I could make the border black border, and maybe I'll make the border size about 3, and you can kind of do it the way you want to do it, but there we go. I'm going to group that. I'll right click and I'll group it, and look, I'm kind of flying along here. I'm doing good. So again, and I may not show every one of these icons in this video, but here the next one up is a calendar. All right, so I'm going to draw a box kind of like that. Now these little donuts that are in the corner of the box, if you grab them and pull them in toward the center, they'll round off the corners. So I kind of like that look for a calendar kind of thing. There's a line tool over here, so I'm going to go get the line tool and just drag a line that goes like straight across like that. And I'm going to drag a line kind of like that. And because I want another one of those, I'm going to do that alt drag trick that we talked about the other day. I'm going to hold the alt key and drag that line that I made. And you'll see that this program has a lot of like what they call smart guides to try and really help you line things up. So that's my calendar icon right there. Not bad. I don't think it's bad. I'm going to make the border darker. I want the border black, and I'd like to have the border a little thicker. I'll make it like 3 pixels thick. And I'm going to group that together because it's made out of a box and a line and a couple other lines. So I'll do a right click and group. See, I'm trying to show you how to do stuff here that will help make you successful on doing this whole thing. All right, so like I'm 4 down, right? A mail icon, I might draw a box and curve it a bit, and then I could either use the pen tool or the line tool, and I can make it look like an envelope, right? I'll just draw some lines that kind of come down to the corners like that. That is not terrible. And I might make a line that kind of comes up like that, and a line that kind of comes up like that. You just got to, you know, just kind of think it through. Use your imagination a little bit. That is not awful. I could probably zoom in on it and do maybe a little bit better. I could probably make that endpoint. If you use your arrow tool, you can click objects and move the endpoints around and try to make them match up as best you can. Do the best you can. All right, it's not awful. All right, I'll make that black. I'm going to make that border a little bit thicker. And look. That's a decent icon. Maybe not perfect, but it's decent. I'm going to group that together. Right click, group. All right. And that one is my mail icon. Right? So I got like 5 of them done already. And it's only been like 8 minutes. Now I want to show you an idea. Well, another one of the icons you're going to have to make is a group icon. Well, gosh, could we possibly maybe do this? Could I maybe take the profile icon that I made and alt drag it to make a copy, and then alt drag it to make a couple more copies, kind of like this. And then this one I might want to do an arrange, and this is kind of off of the let me see if I can get that on the movie screen for you. If I right click, yeah, you might be able to see it now. If I right click on an object and go to arrange, I can do like bring to front or send to back. Well, I kind of like to bring that one to the front, and so I'll show you what I'm talking about. I can lay it in there. And so my profile icon can very easily become my group icon because I could just duplicate it and arrange some of them in there kind of like that. And I'll go ahead and group that together. I'll do a right click and group. And that becomes my profile icon. And I'm sorry, it becomes my group icon. I really kind of use my profile icon to do it. Now when you get down to that, I'm not doing all of them. I didn't do a photo icon. I didn't do a video icon. And again, if you want to, go do a Google image search for these to see, to get some ideas. If you're not, and my handout has some ideas. When you get down to the last one, the like icon, which could be a heart or a thumbs up, It's a little trickier, and it's bonus. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But I do want to show you something about the pen tool if you're going to try it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not asking for perfect. But with the pen tool, I showed you how you can kind of click, 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 and make corners. But you can also do this kind of thing. I've got the pen tool. It's on the toolbar. And I can click, and if I come up here and click and drag, I can make a curve. If you've done Photoshop or Illustrator before, this is, it's something you're kind of used to a little bit. If I click and drag a little bit, it makes a curve, and I can come down here and kind of click and drag, and I'll come up here and kind of, click and drag a little bit, come up here, trying to get it in a good spot, click and drag. And then if I go back down to where I started, and that's kind of a key, go back to where you started and click there, and that kind of closes up the shape. Well, that's not, and I can use the arrow tool to like reposition those little dots. Those are anchors, right? And they have those anchors even have little handles that come out from them, and you can either stretch or shrink those handles to change the curve a little bit, like I'm doing right now. Right? You can kind of alter the curve. So that's not, it may not be perfect, but it's not the worst heart ever, I don't think. And that would get you bonus points if you do a heart or a thumbs up that could be used as a like icon. All right, now remember that when you're doing this, it's a good idea, and I should have done it in my movie. It's a good idea early on, even when you're first starting, to just hit Save As, and I could call this Icons. And then as I'm working my way along through this, through making all these, just hit Control S to save. Saving often is a really, really, really good idea, because some of you have run into the fact that the program glitches every once in a while and just kind of locks up. So if you save your work often, save it a lot. Just add an icon and save it. Add another icon and save it. Add another icon and save it all the time. Then you don't, you're not going to lose a whole lot if the program crashes on you. All right, so when you get that all done, you get it saved. Then the only other thing you got to do is get back here to Schoology and turn it in. All right, so that's the end of this video. Now it's time for you to go to work on making those icons, and when you get that done, you'll be able to progress on to the next lesson of the day, which you'll see in the next video.